Welcome back to K-Drama Cycle, where we dive deep into the stories behind the stars you love. Today, we have a touching and emotional moment to share, one that has sent fans into a whirlwind of emotions. Park Bo-gum and Kim Yoo Jung, two of the brightest names in Korean entertainment, were spotted in a quiet yet heart-stirring exchange that has left everyone wondering just how close these two have truly become. It happened during what was supposed to be an ordinary industry gathering. The room was full of actors, directors, and staff members from various projects, each mingling and chatting. But amidst the bustling energy, there was a subtle shift in atmosphere when Kim Yoo Jung walked in. She greeted everyone warmly, but fans and a few eyewitnesses noticed that she seemed more subdued than usual. Her smile was still there, but there was a heaviness in her eyes, something that hinted at an emotional weight she was carrying. Park Bo-gum, who was already in the room speaking with the producer, reportedly noticed her almost instantly. It was as if he had a radar tuned to her presence. Witnesses say his expression changed from casual and cheerful to quietly attentive the moment he saw her. Without hesitation, he made his way across the room, navigating through clusters of people until he reached her side. What happened next was a moment that fans are still replaying in their minds. According to those who saw it, Bo-gum gently placed a hand on Yoo Jung's shoulder, leaning in slightly to speak to her. She initially tried to maintain her composure, nodding and smiling faintly, but as they continued to talk, her eyes began to well up. At that point, Bo-gum, who is known for his kindness and deep empathy, didn't hesitate to close the space between them and give her a quiet, reassuring embrace. It wasn't a grand, attention-seeking gesture. In fact, most people in the room didn't even notice it unless they happened to be nearby. But for the ones who did, it was a moment that spoke volumes. His hand rested on her back, his head slightly bent toward hers as he murmured something only she could hear. And whatever he said, it seemed to bring her comfort, because after a few moments, she took a deep breath, wiped her eyes, and smiled just a little wider. Sources close to the industry have been careful not to speculate too much, but many believe that Yoo Jung might have been going through a personal challenge or perhaps a career-related stress. She's been juggling multiple commitments lately, from drama shoots to endorsements, and even the most seasoned professionals can feel the pressure. Park Bo-gum, who has experienced similar intense schedules, seemed to instinctively know exactly how to be there for her in that moment. Of course, the sight of them together, sharing such a tender and private exchange, has reignited dating rumors. This is not the first time fans have speculated about their closeness. Ever since they starred together in Love in the Moonlight, their on-screen chemistry has often spilled into off-screen interactions. They've maintained a public friendship for years, supporting each other's work and speaking warmly about one another in interviews. But moments like this, the quiet, unplanned, deeply human moments, make people wonder if there's something more. Some fans believe their bond is one of those rare friendships that transcends time and circumstance. They note how Bo-gum has always been protective toward Yoo Jung, often looking out for her at events and making sure she's comfortable in group settings. Others, however, are convinced that this level of emotional support hints at something deeper. As one fan tweeted, "You don't look at someone like that unless they mean the world to you." After the event, a few blurry photos surfaced online, allegedly taken by attendees. They show Bo-gum standing just slightly in front of Yoo Jung, almost as if shielding her from the crowd. His hand is still gently on her shoulder in one shot, and in another, she appears to be laughing softly while he's looking at her with a mix of relief and affection. The images spread quickly across social media, sparking thousands of comments in a matter of hours. Interestingly, neither of them has addressed the moment publicly. Both Bo-gum and Yoo Jung have always been careful about their personal lives, preferring to let their work speak for itself. But that silence has only fueled more conversation. Some fans appreciate that they keep these things private, believing it makes their bond, whatever it may be, more genuine. Others, however, are desperate for confirmation, hoping to know once and for all whether these two beloved stars are more than just friends. What makes this story so powerful isn't just the romantic speculation. It's the reminder that even celebrities, with all their fame and success, need moments of understanding and support. And sometimes, the person who gives that to you isn't just a co-star or a friend, there's someone who sees you in a way the rest of the world doesn't. As the night went on, Bo-gum and Yoo Jung didn't stick together the entire time. They mingled with other guests, took photos, and engaged in light conversations. But every so often, observers say, Bo Gum's gaze would drift back to her, checking in from across the room. And each time their eyes met, she seemed just a little more at ease. Fans are now speculating whether this emotional moment might hint at a new phase in their relationship, whether that means a deeper friendship or something more romantic. Either way, what's clear is that Park Bo Gum and Kim Yoo Jung share a connection that is rare in the fast-paced, image-conscious world of Korean entertainment. It's a connection built on years of trust, shared experiences, and an unspoken understanding that goes beyond words. This single evening, this brief and tender exchange, has reminded fans why they fell in love with the idea of Bo Gum and Yoo Jung in the first place. Whether they remain close friends or decide to take their relationship to another level, one thing is certain, the bond between them is real, and it's something that continues to inspire and touch the hearts of everyone who sees it. So as we wait to see if either of them will ever speak about what truly happened that night, the images and stories will live on, replayed and reimagined by fans around the world. In a way, that's the magic of moments like these. They leave us wondering, hoping, and cherishing the connections that make life and love so unforgettable. And that's why here at K-Drama Cycle, we'll continue following their journey, bringing you the stories that matter, the ones that remind us that behind the cameras and the headlines, these stars are human too, with hearts that feel just as deeply as ours. The cameras caught only a glimpse, but fans saw everything in that fleeting moment. Bo Gum didn't just stand by. He leaned in, speaking to her as though the two of them were alone in the room. Whatever he said, it was enough to make Yoo Jung take a deep breath and smile again, this time with a softness that carried gratitude. Some speculated that the emotional shift might have been triggered by a question from the audience, one that touched on personal challenges or memories. Others believe it could have been the stress of her recent schedule, which has been intense and demanding. Yoo Jung, known for giving her all to every project, has been juggling acting commitments, brand endorsements, and public appearances without much rest. And then there's the theory fans love to entertain, that Bo Gum's presence itself was a source of comfort because of the bond they've shared since working together years ago. Their connection on-screen in Love in the Moonlight was undeniable, but it's their off-screen warmth toward each other that continues to draw attention. Even in industry events, they seem to have a way of reading each other's moods instantly. After the event, Bo Gum and Yoo Jung were seen leaving together with their respective teams, but not before Bo Gum gently guided her through the crowd. Fans noted the protective way he walked beside her, subtly making sure she wasn't overwhelmed. That small but telling gesture fueled even more speculation about just how close these two have remained over the years. On social media, hashtags about their moment trended almost immediately. Clips of Bo Gum leaning toward Yoo Jung, speaking to her with concern, were shared thousands of times. The comments were filled with messages like, "This is why we love Bo Gum. His kindness is real, and they've always had each other's backs." Insiders in the industry have often spoken about Bo Gum's gentlemanly nature and his attentiveness to those around him. One staff member who has worked with both actors described him as someone who notices the little things, the way someone's smile doesn't quite reach their eyes, or when someone suddenly grows quiet in a crowd. Yoo Jung, on the other hand, is admired for her resilience but is still known to be sensitive and deeply emotional. In moments like these, their personalities seem to balance perfectly, his quiet strength meeting her heartfelt openness. As for Yoo Jung, she later addressed the event briefly in an interview, saying she was just feeling a bit overwhelmed but quickly added that she was thankful for good people around her. She didn't name Bo Gum directly, but fans felt the gratitude in her words was unmistakably directed at him. Whether you see this as a sweet friendship moment or something more, there's no denying the impact it had. In an industry where so much is polished and guarded, it's rare to see such unfiltered care between two stars, especially under the gaze of cameras. And perhaps that's why the scene struck such a chord. It reminded fans that behind the glamorous outfits, perfect makeup, and rehearsed lines, these are real people with real emotions, and sometimes all it takes is the right person noticing at the right time to make everything feel a little lighter. As fans continue to replay that clip and read into every glance and gesture, one thing is clear. Park Bo Gum and Kim Yoo Jung's bond, whatever form it takes, has stood the test of time. They may not spell it out for the world, but moments like this speak louder than any public statement ever could. And here at K-Drama Cycle, we'll be watching closely, ready to bring you the next chapter in their story. Because if there's one thing history has shown us, it's that the relationship between these two is far from ordinary.